episode of Calfkicksports. As always, I'm joined by Tim, but today we're doing an extra special breakdown. We're going to be discussing Dricus du Plessis' now title win against Sean Strickland with the weigh-in boys, Ray and Abbas. Firstly, I'm going to go around the room. I'll start with you, Ray. Robbery or not?
Close decision, not robbery. It could have gone either way, not robbery.
Okay, we'll go into detail later on. But yeah, Abbas, what do you think? Robbery or not?
Do you know what? This is why me and Ray, for sometimes we're on the same path, sometimes not. This time we're agreeing. I'm the same. Like, I can't call anything a robbery if we're having a discussion if something is a robbery or not.
Yes, absolutely. And Tim?
Oh, man, hit the nail on the head. Like, it's too close of a fight to say that it was a robbery one way or the other. However, did the right guy get his hand raised? Yeah, but I wouldn't have complained the other way if that had happened. But let's get into it. Ash, what do you think?
I'll throw my 2 cents in initially. I think I think he was the rightful winner. You can't win a mixed martial arts fight with a jab, man. You can, but it's going to be extremely hard to. And I think I saw a video the other day, and Demetrius Johnson broke this down very well. You've got to be more dynamic, man. And Dricus du Plessis did that throughout. He wasn't just throwing punches. He was throwing leg kicks, even though he was getting checked. He was throwing spinning body kicks. He was throwing takedowns as well. He was giving different looks, man. He was trying to mix it up. And I think just purely because of that, I gave Dricus du Plessis rounds 2, 3, and 4. And you know what? I wouldn't even give Sean round 5, man. Honestly,
Whoa! Let's not do that. Let's not do that. 5 was definitely Sean.
I don't know. I think it was Sean's corner as well that basically hinted it. I might be wrong. They kind of said we kind of need round 5.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, when your corner is telling you that should be that little spark in the head that if my corner's forcing me to tell me that we might not necessarily be winning as comfortable as we are, but I'm kind of with you, Ash. 2, 3, and 4 going into the 5th, I had a DDP up as well.
100%, man. What do you guys think?
Well, I wanted to add on to the round by round breakdown. Is often like it's how we judge fights correctly. But if you do watching the fight overall and judge it that way, which like you do in One and Pride back in the day, and it's not officially, but if you did that, you would still end up with Dricus du Plessis winning because like he did more in round 4 than Sean did in the first 3 rounds, for example. So if you judge it overall, I think Dricus, like the right guy, kind of got his hand raised, you know what I mean? But breaking it down round by round, I could absolutely see an argument for Sean Strickland even winning like round 2, stuff like this. But what do you guys think?
I don't know, man. I just don't. I am shocked at Sean Strickland fans, man. I am utterly. It's unbelievable, man. Really, because it's like he was keeping a very moderate pace the whole time. He wasn't trying to push the pace at all, and you expect him to win off throwing a left jab, a right straight, and a teep kick here and there, and faking a teep kick. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we talking about here? This is mixed martial arts, man.
But to counter that, how many times have you seen fights where one guy just holds a moderate pace and based off the damage, I mean, if you see DDP's face, it's not necessarily going to be injuries or anything long term. It's just swelling and stuff. But based just off that and an element of control, fighters win fights by just keeping a moderate pace.
You're sounding like Dom Cruz at the moment, man. You're sounding. That's what I think.
All the time.
I hear it.
On the counter side of things, when you've got one guy who's trying to force the aggression in a fight where we're looking at it, we're like, can this fight be split by this particular? The aggressive fighter somehow is able to overcome a guy that potentially might have a bit more control. So I get your point. I'm not against a guy controlling the tempo by just jabbing and just moving, but that's the boxing in me as well.
Yeah, of course.
And another guy's becoming a bit more aggressive and mixing it up. I understand from an MMA point of view why he gets that around, but also when you look at his face, it was beat up. It was beat up. The jab was hitting where it needed to hit, but unfortunately, like you guys have touched on, because of the ability to mix it up, that pushes it to another side as well.
And one thing that Sean was doing, like he started his career as an MMA fighter, and then he found later success with a 1-2, and then he found championship success by just going a left jab and nothing else. Like he's a funny guy of like, he can control the fight with a jab, but he never builds off of it. Like even the 1-2 was kind of rare in this fight, but he doesn't build well off of the jab. And the jab is the best tool in a fight, bar none. But you got to work off of it, you know?
100%, man. I mean, there's no combination punching or kicking with him whatsoever. He throws the jab, and then it's like you could do again. I thought that the DJ video was so beautiful, but you could do so many things with that. You could throw a left, you could throw a right, you could throw a left body kick, you could throw a right. He threw one leg kick in this whole fight, I think, in the first round, and I'm like, yo. You look really like I was like, yo, what's that combination? And then he just decided, nah.
Do you know what? I give it to him though. The checking the kicks was so good. Like throughout the whole fight, he was just checking kicks like it was nothing. And for me, like you guys were saying, the same messages. Like after the jab, what do you do more? And the only time I've seen a jab win a fight like that was probably, ironically, it was in Canada, and it was GSP against Koscheck.
Yeah,
but GSP was still way more aggressive, and he would add in the low kicks, he'll put in the threat, the takedown. Where Sean was like you said, he just rested on jab, 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 threaten with like an overhand right every now and then return to the jab. And it's just like you have to have more urgency. I don't know whether he had a injury to his right hand or something, but yeah, it was just like he turned into, this is gonna sound crazy. He turned into Izzy. As in, you know how Izzy, obviously his striking is more varied, but when there's times when Izzy needs to press the action more, he hasn't sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's gotten away with it. But obviously, ironically, in his last fight, Izzy didn't get away with it. And I think it's like Izzy and Sean switched situations where at time when you needed to be more urgent, he wasn't.
I want to build off of that because in MMA, we like to have all these like platitudes and talk about how complex of a sport it is. You know, we got clinching, we got takedowns, all this bullshit. Now, I think at the end of the day, I've heard someone make the argument of just guy who goes forward wins. And we've seen that with Sean Strickland against Israel Adesanya. And now we're seeing it exactly again with Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland of like as many fancy things as you can do, being aggressive kind of wins you the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And there were sloppy shots a lot of the. Can I just say I was very surprised, at some of the overhands that Dricus du Plessis was throwing. Like, I mean, you guys cover the boxing scene. I mean, I know it's MMA, it's completely different sports, but were you a bit surprised at how bad he was telegraphing those shots, man? And it makes me think, what the fuck is this middleweight division about now, man? Honestly.
I think it goes to that point, though, again, from you guys is because even if the overhand doesn't look nice, it doesn't look pretty, it's aggressive. And it can work its way. But you know, one thing I'd probably say is about this is similar to you guys' point. I always look at certain guys, if they come in as an underdog and they exceed expectation, like Sean Strickland against Izzy, following that up, where now you go in as a favorite, do you have a bit more, you have a way more pressure because it's like, wait a minute, we expect you to do something. And then obviously you look at Vegas as the betting lines and stuff. Strickland came in as the favorite. Towards the end, it became a pick 'em type of thing. But throughout the fight, leading up to the fight night, Sean Strickland went into this particular fight as the favorite. And because, to his credit, has gone into every fight recently anyway, where he's probably been the underdog and excelled expectation. In this case, he was fighting with, I guess you could say, house money, whereas Sean had the pressure. So potentially you can look at it to say that got in his way a little bit.
Heavy is the head, man. Everyone thinks, listen, not that it's easy to get the belt, but it's more difficult to defend it than it is to keep it. And I think this is going to make, these are the type of situations which makes you appreciate Izzy more for the run that he went on in the short space of time as well.
100%, man. I mean, even just to build on that, Ray, I think BJ Penn was on a podcast the other day. When you get the belt, you lose 50% of the reason why, man. You lose that immediately. When you lose 50% of that, it's like, what am I doing this for? Getting another belt? I've won another belt. Like, you know, you're losing that motivation. And with Sean especially, he never gave a fuck about the belt, man. The belt was never a thing for him. It was always more about getting more money. I do get where you're coming from with your point, Abbas, about the pressure situation, but I don't even know if it's that, man. I almost feel like Sean didn't want this as much, man, as other champions. And it kind of shows the last couple of rounds, like he just wasn't putting that much output.
Do you know what? It'll be interesting because I can't. Sorry for cutting you. It'll
Yeah.
be interesting because I kind of liken it to Andy Ruiz in boxing, where he beat Joshua second time round, had basically a stink fest, and Joshua won. And then from there, we've hardly seen much of him. The bounce back now from Sean Strickland is going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Okay, eyes are on you when you're on a card. The casual that weren't paying attention is now paying attention. How are you going to respond? How active are you actually really going to be trying to reclaim that? Because then, to your point, Ash, if he's not active, if he is taking a year out, if he's not wanting to fight twice a year, whatever the case is, yeah, then we can say that, to your point, he didn't really care for it too much. He got the job done. He got his paycheck. He headlined an event, got his pay-per-view points, and he's riding into the sunset.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. Honestly, it's hard. I don't want to allude to what I think is going on in Sean Strickland's head, but
who can?
You know what? Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't think no one wants to do that right now. It probably is a combination of things, but I'd rather stay out of there.
It's too funny, man. What do you guys think that is? So going forward now, Sean Strickland, I think he's probably going to be taking a break, but just what do you think the trajectory is for Sean going forward? And then we'll just cover Dricus after that. Tim.
Oh, man, Sean Strickland was one of those guys who like snuck up on me in terms of like I barely paid attention to him. Like he surprised me when he defeated someone like Uriah Hall, and that was kind of just the start of it, you know. But then he got a championship, and now I needed to start paying attention. But the thing is, like, the middleweight division is, what do you do with the entire middleweight division? Like, I'm pretty sure historically you could have Anderson Silva and Israel Adesanya and cut everything else that's ever happened at middleweight, and you wouldn't lose a ton.
Let's not do that. Whitaker, Whitaker. We'll put Whitaker up there.
Okay.
He done a bit.
Hey, let me respect my British goat, Bisping. But yeah.
No,
that's true.
A really good one. No, Bisping's a banger. Bisping and Whitaker are bangers. But making it more accurate doesn't help my joke, you guys. So thanks a bunch for that one.
Apologies. Let gender run.
But I think that's kind of the thing of like, you can probably cut most of middleweight and it just barely matters. So like, he's going to fight someone like, has he fought he's fought Jack Hermanson already.
Yes. Yeah.
He's going to find some top 15. Yeah, he beat him back in the day, but he's going to find some top 15 random guy. Who's a Scottish guy who just dives on submissions all the time?
Paul Craig, yeah.
I love your impression of him. It's too funny.
I think that might be a good fight. Just to get back on his feet.
If you want people to spend the money at the O2, UFC London, run it up. I think you get eyes on that one personally.
Yeah. I'm just checking the middleweight division now. Let me see this. So we've got Israel number 1. Sean, I'm presuming, is going to be at 2. Robert Whitaker at 3, but he's probably got to fight a few more before he gets the title shot again. Jared Cannonier at 4, but I was saying they need to save him for Hamzat because he talks too much. Marvin Vettori and Strickland might just be.
Ooh, I like that. That's good.
Wait, let me throw a quick idea at you as well.
Go on.
It would be looking to avenge a very old loss to Kamaru Usman. Kamaru just had his first fight at middleweight, both former champions. It would be a rematch from a few years ago.
Wow.
That is a very good shout.
Mate. Tim Shelby right there. Tim Shelby.
Do you know what? That is a very good. Here's the only difficult thing about that. But I like the fight. I want it to happen, but it's going to be difficult. With Izzy, if Izzy gets the belt back, Usman's not going to face him. So then it's like.
Money talks, though. They even said that themselves. They said it.
They want boxing. No, but they want boxing money to fight each other. They're not gonna. They can't do the usual. Let me give you guys 500K and then the checks under the table. It's like, no, we want boxing money if we're gonna face each other. And I understand it, but listen, Tim, I don't know what channels you have to go through to make it happen. You need to contact someone at the UFC and tell them We need Usman versus Strickland too.
That's fucking brilliant.
That is
That's
a
so
very good fight.
Yeah,
very
man.
good
I mean,
fight.
I'm actually leaning to Usman as well in that. I think Usman's going to take that too.
I'd probably lean towards him, but again, I go off the motivation as much as the talent. I'm kind of with you guys. Sean Strickland, for me, just feels like an Andy Ruiz-esque when it comes to boxing. Like, he's got to the mountaintop. Does he want to exert that much energy to run it back again? Potentially, for me, I don't think so. Like, you make enough money at the top, and then I don't think he's.
Nah, I think it will come. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of things, because we said different reasons, but I also think is that pressure one might be a big one where it's just like, you're not the champion no more. You can, because that happens. There's some people where it's just like, like the Kevin Hollands of the world, where it's just like, I don't care about belts. Pay me to fight. I don't have to be the pressure of being the #1 contender or champion. He's achieved the championship status now. Maybe now it's just like, just let him fight. Let him fight off his traumas. Just let him fight off his traumas, man.
I'm going to just put this to you guys then. That Kamaru Usman fight you guys are talking about, Usman's lost 3 in a row now. If he was to fight Sean Strickland and lose 4 in a row, what does that say about Kamaru Usman going forward? Like,
that'll be a very sad turn of events, man. When that happens,
I don't think it says too much.
I don't think you'll lose too much.
I don't think he'll lose, but I don't think it says too much either, because I feel like Usman has only lost to the best. It's not like a Tony Ferguson situation where you just keep on getting battered by any and everyone. Whereas Usman is just like, what you got head kicked by Leon, then you got beat by Leon, who's now the best welterweight, is where it is, no shame in that. And then you got beat by a guy I'm not too fond of at the moment in Hamzat, where it's just like, that was a short turnaround fight. So, and do you know what? I didn't want to go through it. I'm just going to, sorry, quick rant.
No,
I've had enough of Hamzat. And me and Ash have spoken about this. Hamzat needs to stop the BS, because there was a tweet that went out and I sent it to Ash, where Hamzat, after every single fight of a champion, all out, see you soon. From welterweight to middleweight to light heavyweight, he's telling everyone, see you soon. Sharp and fight. I'm tired of it. No, I'm tired of the gimmick now. It's enough. It's tired. This big scary guy that you think you are, like, I don't believe it no more. Gilbert exposed it, then Kamaru exposed it. I don't know if he's the guy that he thinks he is, because at the end of the day, everything that he said he was going to do, Pereira came into the UFC after him and done it. So now give Hamzat like Cannonier or someone, is do or die, sharp. I don't want to hear no more about I'll kill you, brother. All this, shut up. It's had enough. The Habib gimmick has worn off. It's Habib's gimmick and not yours. It's enough now. Fight a viable contender and then talk. It is enough.
Even rebook Paulo Costa, man, again. Do that,
that's another, let's not, because that's a whole nother, that guy, I don't even know what's happening with him.
Going back to, by the way, you guys all had really good kind of choices with the Usman and Strickland fight. I really like that. I want to say something a little bit more silly. I would love to see Ian Gary fight Sean Strickland, because why the hell not, man? And
yes,
mate, that would do. Everyone's going to tune in, and even for the press conference, oh my god, you know
what? If Jeffrey Neal beats Ian Gary, I want it, please. Jeff Neal, do us all a favor and beat Ian Gary, because if both of them are coming off losses, it's even more easier, more tasty to make that fight.
You know what? I'm gonna put it out there. With how much Sean Strickland speaks, I don't think Ian Gary would want to do that, because he'd probably be getting into the ring already embarrassed to the point where he just can't even save face.
He embarrasses himself, he'll be fine.
I like Ian Gary, man. I kind of want him to be.
I'm tired of the gimmicks of fighters trying to be like past fighters. Be your own self. Ian Gary's trying to be the new McGregor. Hamzat trying to be the new Habib. Be your own people, man. Like, you're not gonna. McGregor and Habib are two people who you won't be able to replicate. There's two people where it's just like, you can't replicate that. And I think sometimes we don't appreciate, because of his crazy antics and how he's looking now, we don't appreciate just how big of an impact McGregor made when he first came. You can't replicate that, because this guy was chatting rubbish and actual good trash talk, not like the low hanging fruit that these lot are doing. He actually had good trash talk and was backing it up. The rest of you guys are doing a whole bunch of trash talk, no pun intended, and you're not even backing it up in the octagon. Stop! It's enough, please, people. Let's get back to making fighting cool again, because all the low hanging trash talk and without backing it up, it's enough now, man. Second round over.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like it, man. Just only when it's not done too much, I think it's okay. But lately MMA has become, it's becoming a bit of a hotbed for that stuff. But moving forward, man, the winner of the middleweight title, Dricus du Plessis, what would you do with him going forward? Me personally, I'd love to see. I mean, it's a really quick turnaround. If you can make main event for UFC 300 against Israel Adesanya, I would honestly UFC Africa. That's great. I don't care. I want that for UFC 300 because that needs a main event. I would love for it for UFC Africa. There's just no main event for UFC 300. So let's just make that, please. What do you guys think?
I think that's why probably Dana's held off announcing a main event. Yeah. Because probably in the back of his mind, he's like, if I can get Izzy healthy, we can get this up and running. I've got my A+ A-level star headlining, especially from MMA standpoint. My only thing is, and I've said this before, when you look at UFC 100, 200, 300, I look at them events like a WrestleMania, where you want to put someone who is so big that you can attract every single casual. Unfortunately, I don't know if Izzy still holds that weight to be able to get so many casuals invested in that. That's the reason why I always say that they can find a way somehow, somewhere to turn to Brock Lesnar. I don't see it happening for UFC 300. But if you look at UFC 100, he was on the card. Still one of the highest grossing pay-per-views, and it happened decades ago. UFC 200, they found a way to get him in. The eyes were on him, regardless of all the PEDs afterwards with Mark Hunt. But I still think they're missing that. I think from an MMA standpoint, that's the fight that will probably headline, depending on, obviously, like you said, the turnaround. I still think, unfortunately, the 300 mark is still missing that little cross-platform guy that just crosses over fully. But yeah, I think that was probably what Dana might run as the main event.
Yeah, definitely. I just don't think they've got it, man. I just don't think they've got that guy. And the only person that I can think of is Izzy. Unfortunately. What do you think, Ray?
Listen, man, they stacked up 299 trying to make Sean O'Malley a star. People need to give up on 300 being a good event. It's not going to be star-studded. You got to give up on it, man. They've got
so many good fights. Like, no?
Give up on it, man. Listen, it's going to be an all-right event. If you wanted a great event, UFC 300, on paper, that is. On paper, UFC 300 will just not be great. Be at peace with it. I'm sorry. They stacked up 299 and 300 felt the consequence. I would like for Izzy to face du Plessis. I'm in two minds. I would like Izzy to face du Plessis if he's ready. If he is not ready, make a UFC South Africa. If he is ready, make a UFC 300. And already, I think if they can make Izzy versus du Plessis and then put on Leon versus Bilal on top of that, it can kind of bring back UFC 300. But please, please, please remember, it will not be the greatest event on paper. Be at peace with it, people.
Yeah, tend to agree, man. What's your thoughts, Tim?
Yeah, the thing is that every time that the UFC has an opportunity to do something so cool, like UFC Africa, they had 3 champions born in Africa at one point, and they didn't. They were like, "Nah, fuck it, I don't give a shit. We're just gonna keep going to Vegas. Who cares about that?" If they didn't do it then, I don't know. It makes sense to do it now because I want the UFC to do cool things like that. However, let's Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Oddly enough, I think Israel struggles a little bit in that fight because Dricus is such a bad striker. His feet are out of position. His shoulders are doing weird things, but he beats good strikers because they don't know how to counter him because you have no idea what this guy is doing. Like if he was a good striker, you could counter him because his stuff makes sense. But the way he moves his feet and his hands, is that a takedown or is that a kick or is that like,
that's a very good point. Yeah, it's true. That's actually a very good point.
And like he beat Whitaker, he beat Strickland, he beat Darren Till. Because all these guys didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, Yeah. It's such a weird middleweight division, man. I'm saying this. Look at it back in the day. Yeah, you had Rio Romero, Leo Machida, Luke Rockhold. Fucking even if you go back a bit further, you should have come with solid Bisping, Nate Marquardt, bro. Yeah. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Izzy, come save the division, man. Please, just hurry up and save the division, man. Save us, man.
I 100% appreciate Izzy more, man. But guys, thank you so much for jumping on this for the 297 podcast. Great chat as always, and we'll do this again regularly. But yeah, look, I'll give you guys the weigh-in, boys. Yeah, the last word here. Any sponsors? I know you guys are on a new platform. Tell the fans, where they can find you.
Oh yes, so our content now is actually exclusively. We're moving over to the iBoxing Hub YouTube channel. So go ahead, subscribe, like, and same with Asher's stuff. Subscribe, like, and comment on all of good stuff. And then follow us over as well. We do a lot of boxing content over there. We talk a lot of stuff. We have literally daily shows, interviews, the whole work. So yeah, go ahead, follow the iBoxing Hub channel as well.
And then to add to that, iBoxing Hub, still stay weighed in. We're still going to post videos there every now and then, so check that out. Obviously, thank you to Calfkicksports. One more note on 297. I can't believe I'm saying this. Juliana Pena, please save us. And after Juliana Pena, please save us. Valentina Shevchenko.
I'm going to clip that.
Please save us. Forget about flyweight. Let it go. Let Grasso go. Please, Shevchenko. And who's that one? Jermaine Durandamine, please save us. I'm begging you. I am absolutely Shout out Pennington. No, listen, man. It's not personal. At the same time, congratulations. Pena, Durandamine, Shevchenko, save us. I'm begging. And that's my closing note.
Do it soon. All right. Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Yeah, Raymond, just